Southern Italy is famous for Roman ruins, Sicilian culture, and medieval kingdoms. But hidden beneath that history is a chapter many people never hear about, a period when Muslims ruled parts of the region for nearly 2 centuries. It wasn't a brief raid or a temporary occupation, it was a thriving, strategic, multicultural Muslim kingdom that shaped the identity of southern Italy in ways that can still be seen today. This is the forgotten story of how Muslim rule took hold in Sicily and reshaped the Mediterranean. The story begins in the 800s when the Aghlabid dynasty from North Africa looked across the Mediterranean and saw an opportunity. Sicily was controlled by the Byzantine Empire, but it was politically unstable and poorly defended. For Muslim leaders in Africa, modern Tunisia, the island offered everything: fertile land, valuable ports, and a chance to expand trade. So in 827, a combined force of Arabs, Berbers, and local allies crossed the sea and began one of the most ambitious military campaigns of the medieval world. The conquest didn't happen overnight. It took more than 70 years of battles, alliances, and careful strategy. The Muslims didn't just fight, they negotiated with local populations, won over towns, and built relationships with disaffected groups tired of Byzantine rule. City by city, Sicily shifted hands until 902, when the island was fully under Muslim control. What followed wasn't chaos, it was transformation. Under Muslim rule, Sicily became one of the most advanced regions in Europe. The new rulers introduced irrigation systems that turned dry fields into farmland capable of growing citrus, sugarcane, dates, and cotton. Palermo, which had been a provincial town, became a booming capital city with hundreds of thousands of people. It grew into one of the largest and wealthiest cities in the Mediterranean, larger than most cities in Christian Europe at the time. Markets expanded, trade routes flourished, and ships from North Africa, Egypt, Spain, and the Middle East filled the Sicilian ports. Culturally, Sicily became a crossroads of civilizations. Arabic became the language of administration. Islamic scholars, poets, and scientists arrived from across the Muslim world. Jewish and Christian communities lived under Muslim rule with relative autonomy, contributing to a mixed society where Greek, Latin, Arabic, and African traditions blended together. Sicilian art, architecture, and even the island's cuisine began to shift in ways that still survive today. From citrus farming to irrigation canals to architectural elements seen in old palaces and gardens. But this Muslim kingdom wasn't isolated. It was connected to the larger Islamic world, sharing ideas and technologies with Baghdad, Cairo, and Cordoba. At the same time, it traded with Christian cities in Italy and France. This made Sicily a bridge between two worlds, a place where knowledge, goods, and people moved freely. In many ways, it resembled Al-Andalus in Spain, a dynamic, multicultural society defined by learning and prosperity. By the thousands, however, the political landscape of Europe was changing. Norman mercenaries from northern France began pushing into southern Italy, slowly taking territory from both local lords and the Muslim rulers of Sicily. It took decades of warfare, but by 1091, the last Muslim stronghold fell. Even though political control shifted, the Normans didn't wipe out what the Muslims had built. In fact, they embraced it. Norman kings hired Muslim architects, scientists, and administrators. They kept Arabic inscriptions in their palaces and used Muslim engineers to maintain the irrigation networks. The blending of Norman and Muslim culture became one of the most unique and remarkable fusions in medieval Europe. Though Muslim rule in Sicily eventually ended, its legacy never disappeared. It lived on in the island's architecture, agriculture, language, and cultural memory. The orange groves, the geometric tile work, the domed buildings, and even some Sicilian words trace their roots back to those 2 centuries of Muslim rule. This was not a footnote, it was a defining era that shaped the identity of Sicily and influenced the wider Mediterranean world. Today, it stands as a reminder that history is full of unexpected connections. Southern Italy wasn't just a frontier between civilizations, It was a place where they met, blended, and built something extraordinary together. And for nearly 200 years, a Muslim kingdom at the heart of the Mediterranean proved that influence can travel far beyond borders, leaving a legacy that lasts for centuries.